Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP episode... Oh shoot, I forgot. What episode are we on, Christian?
Is it 610?
I think it's 610. 610. We are live tonight. It is Thursday, January 16th. I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Christian.
What up?
And we're still rallying some of the troops here. So I think Phil's running a little bit late. So just me and you for now.
Cool.
Paul is a maybe. It's the problem is you know, we had the show. We try to set it late enough for those of us in Central Time who have kids and have to deal with that,
Gross.
Right? To be able to like kind of put them to bed. So like that's the issue that like me and Phil and Paul have, right? But then we also had the issue of you folks on the East Coast who are an hour ahead, and you guys are just like, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock. Like I'm ready to fall asleep here. So, you know, what can you do?
My sleeping schedule is currently 4 a.m. to noon, so
Well, there you go.
That's how this is going.
Yeah. But yeah, that's part of the thing with like Rick, like hasn't been on the show forever, right? And part of the thing is, of course, he had like started a toy store along with his frame shop and all that. But then also it's just like too late for him on being on the East Coast, which I understand. So
Not late.
and then I know now that Anna moved, because she used to give you guys trouble, East Coasters or whatever, and then now she moved to the Eastern Time and she has trouble staying awake that late. So what can you
It's
do?
not that late. That's on her.
Right? So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so how's your Transformers collecting? Before we get into, I guess, we'll wait for Phil to get into the main topic. But have you picked up anything interesting lately, Christian?
I had a couple interesting arrivals in the past week. My bump of chicken convoy arrived.
Ooh, kind of jelly there.
Well, I'll let you know how it is. I still haven't opened it. I had to go upstairs.
Can you promise
Dingo
it to me,
Racing
by the
Optimus?
way, like, you know, here like a year or two from now, like not TFCon Chicago this year, but maybe TFCon Chicago 2 years from now?
Why? I'm gonna sell it to you then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, for a bump of chicken.
Sure.
Because
You can
I
have my
pulled
Cloud
that
Optimus too.
I pulled that deal with what was it? Perfect. What was it again? The one I just sold, or that you just sold to me?
Oh, the premium finish Optimus.
Premium
Yeah.
finish. Yeah, sorry. I was like, yeah, so the Siege Optimus, right? So like
hmm
I was mentioning it to you. I was like, "Oh, like I wouldn't mind having that." And you're like, "I wouldn't mind selling that." So, it's on it came to me the other day. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it arrived yesterday, which was like way later than I expected, but I'm glad it made it.
Yeah, yeah. You never know with like the post office and all that, so but
Plus, it was
yeah.
snowy here and there, so I guess that delayed it.
Right. Oh my goodness, it has been crazy. So it's finally warming up, and then I think we're supposed to get hit again this weekend, right? Are you guys getting hit or no with another storm?
Maybe it keeps changing.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, and then I also got these. I was showing on the other camera, but these dudes. So the missing links. Oh, hey,
It's
look at
Philly
that! It's
and Cliff
Phil.
Jumper.
Let's see if I can get my other camera in here.
He's not talking to us though.
There we go.
Hold on. Headphones are not picking up. There we go.
But yeah, Christian, I am surprised that like the line that you've drawn is here. That you're not into the missing link stuff.
I didn't draw a line. I'm just not interested.
That's what I mean. Is like, you know, I know you've been dabbling back in third party and that hasn't went well.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. These guys are so much fun.
Good.
So I've really enjoyed them. I honestly, this is kind of like the missing link stuff is definitely where my heart has been, like, you know, recently, that I've been a little bit bored with mainline stuff. So I've been trying to figure out exactly, you know, it's like, you know, what else do I do? Do I just do this, or is there something else? Which I guess
I just don't have
Takara stuff. Yep.
I just don't have that attachment to the original toys like you do. I wasn't around for them, so anything I've ever gotten has been drastically secondhand or reissues. I'm always more attached to the characters, and the characters look like the cartoon to me. So now that I have toys that look like that, that's what I've wanted. Missing Link just doesn't do it for me. The new RC, they are doing her in the prototype colors. I'll probably grab that just for history's sake.
Did you order Cordon? Cordon? Am I saying it wrong?
No.
Okay. I thought you had a big Diaclone thing.
I do, but only from the modern mold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so RC, yay, because that existed, but not really. So I'll have that for a more historical perspective, but otherwise, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not alone, Christian. I mean, Zaldron's saying, you know, he you know, sees where you're coming from on that in the chat. I mean, you know, yeah, there's a lot of the fandom who grew up post G1, and you know, those people are lesser than Lucas and I. You know, just a sub tier of humans.
I've been trying to think, like, if they did a Missing Link Beast Wars, would I do that? And the answer is Missing Link Beast Wars wouldn't exist because those figures were already articulated.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you can't improve those toys into things that are still those toys.
I mean, that's where the blah 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 blah. That is where the
Transart
MP stuff and maybe the Transart comes in, because at least then is like, okay, here's something how it looks just like on the screen. So you have the representation of the toy, which, as you point out, was very articulated, lots of ball joints. Would you like a Beast Wars toy that was, let's say, I don't know, picking any of the more shell former-esque ones that was less panely, that looked more like or had more articulation in animal mode? Like Cheetor doesn't move much as a cheetah, and fairly panely when you make him in robot mode.
Maybe. I'd look at it for sure.
Yeah.
Since we mentioned Transart in this conversation, I am fairly sure that Anna made this comparison at some point, and I agreed with her. So yeah, I think Missing Link Beast Wars is basically what Transart's doing. That's the original toys, but better.
I thought Rob was saying something about the Transart's kind of done now.
I hope not.
Like,
I heard that
know.
too, but
I
got to get to depth charge.
Completely wrong on that, but I thought he was saying something like that the last time he was on the show. So
I hope not. Depth charge. Also, Rampage, please. That would be
yeah, super. I mean, I don't know where he's getting the information from, but he definitely made the allusion to that they're finished. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always hard to say with those third parties and stuff, because it's like, oh, Transart's done, but there was like this new company that somehow has the same designers and factory.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So,
or the same designers in a different factory.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, All right, Phil. Well, now that you're here, we can talk about the new reveals. And I don't know, do
Yeah.
we want to talk about some of the stuff that Takara showed off first, or do we want to get into the Hasbro stuff?
Are you talking about the stuff we saw today, like literally this morning, or was there other Takara
Yeah.
stuff?
Right, the Predaking.
I mean, you just opened up that bottle, so let's let that genie out. Yeah, Predaking. I forget like all the words in his name. He's got a lot of words in his name. But yeah, it's a combiner Predaking. It's a foot tall. All we have so far is grayscale images, right? No, we had like a computer generated color image, right? And then grayscale images of the prototype, of the physical prototype. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
I didn't see anything.
Okay,
I
so
saw
this
the
morning,
grayscale stuff. That's all.
yeah, the grayscale stuff, and then we had, I don't know, like a week ago or so, we saw what I think may have been like a color image of it, but not like the actual toy, but like a render of it. And so it's yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't realize that is only a foot tall.
Yeah,
Really?
it's a foot tall, 30 centimeters, 1 feet tall, is what I was reading today.
Huh. I was expecting it to be bigger than that, I guess. So, I mean, that almost kind of fits in with Generations. Like, how big is Devastator going to be? Or, like, I don't know, were those... That's going to be smaller, I guess, right? Because aren't those like 18 inches?
Yeah.
This will be the same size as the Rodimus-ish. A little bit taller. But if it's
taller than the Rodimus from the pictures they were showing this morning.
And if it's the same kind of build quality, if it was going to be like full-size Predaking, that thing would have been $600. It may still.
Oh, wow. There's like updates even going on right now.
The festival is happening now. Like they just showed off the Missing Link RC in the prototype colors. That's how I know it's happening.
Ooh,
yeah.
There you go. Oh, yeah. We can have some live breaking news on the show.
It's happening at this moment. They just showed off the Macross convoy, which doesn't look Macrossy and has a guitar. I don't know what that's about, but sure.
Yeah, the prototype stage figures are shown separately and combined into a 30 centimeter, 12-inch tall figure. Comes with a boatload of weapons, laser claw hands. I don't quite know what that is. And I guess Tantrum is no longer Tantrum. He's going back to using the Torax name like he did with the Creons. I don't know if he had the Torax name with Power of the Primes.
I think yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's if you're looking for something to replace your Power of the Primes Predaking, this has a lot more detail, but it doesn't have the same presence. But then again, we'll probably get an oversized KO of it.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's just such an odd scale. I wonder why they did that.
Could be a cost factor.
Big cost.
Who knows? This does look a lot more detailed than what we've gotten from the U.S. combiners. They're very squat though for several of the limb bots, and then Razor Claw is going to be, as the center bot is going to be, looks more like Voyager scale, with the other four being kind of deluxe scale, except for Dive Bomb's wings.
Yeah, I think I'm passing on that one. I don't need a legend scale combiner again for that. It's very detailed. It probably is very cool. I'm not even sure I'm in for Hot Rod because it looks great. It's also like $250. Actually, how much did I reserve it for at Pulse? One moment, and I'll get you my list.
Somebody sending me something on Skype. I'm like trying to figure. Oh, here it is. Oh, I guess apparently Paul is.
213.49. That's what it was for me. So yeah, I don't know.
Where's my call?
It's expensive for a single figure. I typically don't spend more than $100 per figure, Titans excluded, naturally. We'll get to that.
I'm trying to
Try
figure
not
out
to, at least.
where the heck are we at here?
You're in Olathe.
No, I'm trying to do the thing. Here we go. I was just trying to do it because I'm trying to do it on another small like screen here to try to invite Paul. So apparently he has to
Everybody's showing
message
up
me
late.
on. That's what, how he likes to do it.
Were we going to talk about the cost of stuff tonight at all?
I think you had
I
something
feel like
prepared
we're
for
gonna
that. That's what the
do
chat said.
like another show with that, don't you think?
I didn't know. I thought that was supposed to be tonight.
Look, he's got notes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're doing that. You prepared notes. We're doing it.
Yeah.
That's
no,
what I thought.
I made multiple spreadsheets for this.
Yeah, we're
Look
doing
at
it then.
you.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
What up, Beef? It's purple where you are.
Really gray coming in there. Distinguished.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Yeah. It's been a minute. So, all right. So, okay. So we're switching topics. It's not the announced topic. We're having a surprise topic. Does that make it on topic or off topic?
You can change the topic, and you can control what it says is the topic.
That's true.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gaslight everyone and say this was always the topic.
Right.
Phil, tell us about your spreadsheets. I want to know.
So we were talking about, different things to cover. And so we talked about how much did collecting Transformers cost last year. And it kind of ties into a little bit of what we're talking about now in terms of these new toys coming out, because then we can talk about how much it's going to cost to collect Transformers in 2025. So for 2024, I looked at a couple of different sources, the TF Wiki. So I was going off of TF Wiki in terms of what toys were released in what year. So, then using Hasbro Pulse numbers, using Amazon numbers, using data from Nick and his spreadsheet, because he collects just about everything Transformers. He collects everything Transformers. And so using all of that, I might have missed a few things here and there. But do you guys want to take a guess at what the number was for collecting mainline Hasbro? Basically just about every Transformer toy released on Pulse last year.
I'm not sure that I want to know.
Like how many figures or how much money or both?
How much money?
Yeah, it should be 3,700-ish, I think.
Okay. Any other guesses? Now, this is including MPs, because MPs were also
including MPs.
This is including MPs. I didn't include the 3.0 stuff, the MPX or the DLX or the Roboson.
Did you
include the Robotussin?
Did you include the Transformers 1 trash stuff?
I included the Transformers 1 Studio Series toys that came out in 2024, as well as the 5 deluxe scale Transformers 1 toys. So Optimus, Bumblebee, Quintesson, Alpha Trion, and Sentinel. I included those because that's a scale that is also in, the mainline stuff.
I mean, I'm figuring if you got everything official for the year, it has to be north of $5,000, right?
Paul, any numbers you want to throw out?
No, because you have too many qualifying factors here that fuck up any answers. Like,
I mean, there's like there's
only 5 of the toys from Transformers 1. Oh, okay. So,
all right. Well,
if only there was a website that could do this for you.
Yeah. And you know what, Paul? Honestly, like the stuff that I'm talking about is basically the stuff that you sell. So
sell?
There's a lot. Well, but that's a whole different.
Well, not the blockies.
Yeah, but you said no blockies. So Yeah, we're
Phil, what
not
do you
including
just tell us?
blockies. We're
Yeah,
not
just
including.
I don't want to make a guess because my numbers are warped both directions because I'm buying shit wholesale and I'm selling it for more than that. So I mean,
So if we're talking retail for this, it was $6,500 in the ballpark.
wow,
$6,500 got you core toys. There were 11 core toys, 36 deluxes, 15 Voyagers, 8 leaders, 2 commanders, 1 Titan, whole bunch of multi-packs, 40th anniversary toys. There were about 8 40th anniversary. I included the comic edition ones in that. NPM, MP, and MPG. There were, I don't know, about 10 of those. 5 crossover
missing
toys.
Link toys.
3 missing Link toys. I had some like miscellaneous stuff in there, like a Pop Optimus Prime, the Transformers 1 leader scale Optimus that was on Pulse, the McFarlane Page Puncher stuff that was on Pulse. So yeah, it was $6,500, $6,500, is what my tally was in all this.
And that doesn't include tax.
That does not
Or
include
shipping.
tax. That does not include shipping. You know, but hey,
So-
if you bought anything on discount, you saved a few bucks.
So here's a thought: if you're gonna buy $6,500 worth of toys off Hasbro Pulse,
Yeah.
maybe it's worth the $50 for the special account.
Yeah, I pay for it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But I just think it's funny when people bitch about it. I'm like, well, if you are anywhere, if you spend $1,000 a year on Pulse, it's worth it.
$50 of shipping. For
I
sure.
mean, good God.
Yeah.
So,
Now-
so Paul, I don't know if you know. I actually am no longer a Pulse Premium member myself. And mainly the reason is because
Gave up, huh?
say for example the other day, like Transformers Tuesday, right? I was all ready and all that, right? Work blew up. I had to be on a phone call like with my boss and all that. I missed everything. Like I was like, we didn't get done with our like Zoom call or whatever till, probably like 2 p.m. And so Central Time. And so it was like one of those things where I was like long gone. Like I'm like messaging Christian and going, hey, like what's still up? Where's it at? Because
I had to go over a couple points 2 or 3 times because I made them, and Lucas was like, hey, what about this thing? I was like, yeah, man, I talked about that already. Where have you been? The answer was at work.
yeah, no, it was like a work fire. So so like I missed out. So that's the main thing with Pulse is that it's like they sell out too quick. And so and the other thing is I feel like Pulse a lot of times too doesn't get the stuff like as quickly as other outlets. So it's like, oh,
That's a fallacy. That is a
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
it's there is no consistency across the board. It's only people care when their toy shows up at someplace other and they're like, GameStop sucks, Target sucks. It's like it's such an individual
Right.
psychosis. Like there's
What's
no
not-
consistency.
What's not individual psychosis is how crappy the Pulse site is now.
Oh,
That
well,
they've changed vendors.
they shot themselves in the head. I mean, why
Bad.
why would you get rid of Shopify? Why would you go with anything else? Anything? Nothing. No. Well, they're losing money for it. It was a mistake.
Yeah, I think we're all
I-
canceling orders right now because they keep sending us update emails like, "Hey, this is coming. Hey, this is coming. Hey, this is coming," and then like nothing ever ships. It's like, what are you doing?
Well,
I
They're
would
just
actually
figuring it out.
argue that it might actually help them because it's harder to cancel an order. And so, like before, you would get an email and you'd be like, "Oh, hey, like this is shipping soon or whatever," and you could like click right on it and cancel it if you wanted to. You're like, "Oh shoot, I forgot I had pre-ordered this, like whatever." Well, now it's like such trash trying to comb through wherever the heck it's at if you have a bunch of orders. That
I just
it's
don't
just so
understand.
hard. Yeah.
I don't understand why they would make it easier for people to cancel stuff.
Oh, I
Like,
agree. I agree.
That is that's like shooting yourself in the foot. Like they should not be promoting the the pre-order game that people play. Like, hey, guys, what? This is coming. In case this is what these emails are. Hey, this is coming. In case you wanted to cancel it, we're letting you know.
Well, the emails now.
No one else does that.
Either the shipping date has changed or it's shipping soon. Guess which one of these it is.
Well,
like this week, earlier in the week, I got one for Armada Wheeljack and said, hey, this is shipping soon. Anticipated ship date, January 6th. I was like, well, earlier this week, it was not January 6th, and also it never shipped, and also it's still on pre-order and supposed to arrive on the 1st. And also a bunch of people got theirs last week, but not me. What does it mean?
You should have kept your
It means
pre-order.
nothing. It means I canceled
Right.
an order from Amazon.
But
Should've
the
kept
other
your
problem
pre-order,
too
buddy.
is that if I have an issue with my order,
I
from
ordered it
Hasbro
with you.
Pulse.
You couldn't fill it. You said it's coming, and then it wasn't. I cried.
Well, it's here now, bitch. So
Well, it's just got to my house today.
But I was gonna say though, if I have an issue with my like a figure that I get from Hasbro Pulse, right? It's like good luck. So if I have an issue with something that I got from any major retailer, I can go exchange it, and then they probably have another one and all that. Like Hasbro Pulse, it's like, oh, we'll pay for shipping on the way back, and like we'll give you something of equal value. But it's probably there's no way it's going to be the same figure. All I don't know. I've never actually even ever tried to return anything to Hasbro Pulse, so. But I just
believe
hear horror stories.
we've gone too far afield. Phil,
We have.
please bring us back. You've got your spreadsheets. You've got your numbers. What points would you like to make?
I mean, I don't know if there's a ton of points I'd like to make. I mean, we can go into depth of detail. The problem is if we start going into detail, then people are going to be like, well, that's when people can find more holes in the numbers. But I mean, the two biggest categories are
Biggest by money or biggest by number?
the two biggest by dollar amount. One, I'm sure, is very guessable, which is the MP, MPM, MPG stuff. That was about $1,500 worth of toys that got released in 2024. So you've got.
Does that include? You're talking about pre-orders.
I'm talking about stuff that was released, so not things that are pre-ordered.
So
So
not
if there's
stuff
like pre-orders for stuff, because I've got
Shatterglass
2025
Prime.
numbers in here.
No,
What's that?
stuff that was charged and his money was taken away from him in 2024.
Got it.
Yeah. So like for instance, for 2025, I've already got on the list Rat Trap, Shatterglass Jetfire, Shatterglass Prime, Lift Ticket Guard, Jinrai, God Bomber. Those are all on the list for 2025. 2024 for the MP, MPM stuff, MPG, Hoist, Rhinox, Rigorous, Brawl, MPG-07, Juno, MPG-08, Yamabuki, Bone Crusher, MPG-6 Kain, MPG-6S Raiden. Those are the ones that came out in 2024. Again, $1,500 and a few bucks and change is what that would have run you if you paid retail. Shoot. There was you know what?
So let me ask you, Bill.
One more. There was a
lot.
Ratchet. There was a re-release of Ratchet, so there should be another $160 on that as well. So you're talking $1,600 and change.
What, did
Did
Revenge of the Fallen Starscream get included on that? Because that was I believe last year. That's
it did not. I didn't see that for last year. Like the TF Wiki was a page I used a lot, and that's not been fully updated yet for 2024 numbers. So it's kind of going by figure again using Nick's list. Nick's list was very comprehensive. So if it wasn't on his list, if it wasn't on the wiki, if it wasn't like finding on BBTS or Pulse, then I was maybe not getting included in there. So once you got out of like the mainline stuff of like the deluxes, the cores, the Voyagers, all that, it starts getting a little bit trickier to nail down. And then especially nailing down what year a toy actually was released.
Well, I don't think any of us want to sit here and poke. Like, we're not trying to poke holes in your list.
I think you're ballparky. I think that's enough for us to work with.
Yeah.
The next highest number then, and this is not. So if we include like all the multi packs, and there's a bunch of, all the exclusive multi packs, all the, I threw in the BWVS multi packs in there as well. But then, I don't want to go over that. But the next highest number is the deluxes. 36 deluxes cost you about $900.
Yeah,
so
and that's consistent with what we've known for a long time, that the deluxe is the main focus for Transformers.
Yeah.
That's the bread and butter.
I'm
sure if you broke out all those multi-packs, there's like 20 more deluxes at least.
Yeah. I left out like the reissue of Strong Arm. Like for my 2025 numbers, I left out reissues of, Galaxy Shuttle and Cosmos and all that. I'm just saying, hey, if you're a collector, if you're a collector, if you're a collector who's saying, I'm going to go buy the new release of this toy, basically saying, I'm going to buy all the new figures that come out, you're going to say, hey, you already got Cosmos. You already got Strong Arm. Well, that was accounted for already.
If you're a mint and sealed box collector, then it's a different story.
Right.
Get them both because the box is different.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Please don't do that.
And there's obviously a lot more. I shouldn't say obviously. There is a lot more for 2025 that falls into that category than 2024. 2024, there were some package refreshes. 2025, this, almost the entire first wave is package refreshes.
Well, yeah. So I guess like you got to double those numbers up if because obviously if you're a mint and seal box collector and you want the stuff loose, so you have to buy 2 figures, right?
It's not.
Yeah, then you spend $13,000 on Transformers.
So
you bought the equivalent of a okay used car.
Okay, so tell us about these package refreshes, and do you have numbers on how many there were last year versus there are going to be this year?
I mean, no, I don't have those specific. This is just kind of off the top of my head. We had Strong Arm. There was like
Laser
a couple
Prime.
in the. What's that?
Laser Prime.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. There was a few more in the Voyager and Deluxe. Voyager and Leader scale.
Metalhawk, but not really. But
not really. Yeah, I mean, Metalhawk was kind of its own thing. I mean, that's a repaint, but I don't know. Yeah, that's weird.
Soldron brings up what about collectors if you want to get a version for to keep them boxed, but then also one to display in every mode.
Yeah.
I mean, we're up to 18,000 now for the year.
Yeah. I mean, let's just say $20,000 at that point in time.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Well, and then if you have triple changers, you're buying Studio Series Springer, you need 4 of them. Studio Series Sandstorm, you need 4 of them.
Are you guys making up these fictional people to make yourselves feel better about your numbers?
No, I've known at least one of those last ones.
I mean, how many 6 shots do some people own?
Should be 7.
Some own a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen the full spread displays, and I'm like, wow, that's something.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul, you say this is fictional. I don't know, man. I think that there's a few collectors that we know that are are doing that.
I know they're out there. I know there's probably more than we'd like to admit, and I'm not shaming them. Buy more stuff.
Right. I was gonna say, as a retailer, you're like, please buy more things.
If you got the room for it, you got the budget for it. Who am I to tell you, what to spend your money on?
Phil, what was the entire budget for all the masterpieces? 1,500 ish, you said?
1,500.
You know what I'd like to know is in comparison to this, and I'm not asking. I know you're not. Phil, I'm not pretending you're box office mojo for Transformers to have every piece of data I could possibly want at the click of my hands. But I'd love to know the third-party numbers compared to this. And that'd be a tough breakdown.
I mean, we talked about that in the cash chat of trying to get those numbers. Like, that to me is such a bigger rabbit hole to go down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Nick doesn't
you're not going to have as
collect
much
third party,
resources.
so we
in
don't
terms
have a database dump that we can get of it.
Yeah. I'm sure there's someone who's got a database. I don't personally know that person. That, and you've got the release dates start to get a little bit funky of when those things got released. So it's almost easier if you wanted to start doing that for 2025. It'd be slightly easier to start doing it now because you can get that data as it becomes available.
Well, the point is not the data. The point is like if it's $6,500 to get all the Hasbro's to get the official stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what do you compared to that number? What do you think the third party stuff is? If it's everything, I mean, I don't know what that means.
The same.
So it's the same. So let's just say it's the same. Someone goes full third party. Someone that spends that amount of money switches sides and goes full third party. That's a lot of sales lost for the brand, and that's what and that is why the Masterpiece line has been decimated. Is because of that. That's
between MPM and MPG and Masterpiece, we got 9 figures last year. To me, that doesn't feel decimated.
We really got like 2 new ones. It depends what you're talking about here, but there were a ton of redecos, and I don't care about redecos, but like,
wait, hold on.
People get excited about new molds.
You're telling me that Hasbro and Takara like redecoed something?
Jesus, it's not even funny. Like, what I'm saying is, there's not a lot of new toys that come out in the Masterpiece line. We all know it.
So the brand new like Masterpiece stuff that was not a redeco: Hoist, Rhinox, Brawl, Bone Crusher, and the last Trainbot MPG06 Cayenne Can. So we got 5, and then we got some Diaclone repaints. The Diaclone repaints make up the rest of it pretty much.
And the 2 movie repaints.
Yeah.
Well, and luckily, I know that they just had some reveals from Hasbro on Tuesday, and hey, thankfully we got lots of new molds from that. I guess we actually did get a few.
All the primes are new molds, right? I mean, that's
yeah.
But of what Luke is saying, what got revealed on Tuesday though.
No, they did had a couple new Optimus Primes.
Yeah.
So
we got the Devastation Prime.
And
we got Age of Extinction Prime was new. Q was new mold.
Yeah.
Wheeljack.
Yeah, to your point,
Q.
Lucas.
Wheeljack
Q.
Q Wheeljack is actually what it is.
But Wheeljack parentheses Q.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So do you guys want to know the numbers for the stuff that you can pre-order now for 2025?
Sure.
So what do you guys think in terms of if you've pre-ordered all the mainline stuff for retail, what do you think you've paid right now? Mainline
Here's
and
my
MPM.
list of my May 1st orders at Hasbro Pulse.
I'm gonna guess $3,000.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say that's like $700.
Okay, Paul, we got 3,000 from Lucas. Paul, I'm sorry, Christian.
Probably around $1,000, I'd say. Probably, I don't know.
$3,800, $3,900.
What already?
What is
how?
Yeah. $3,900. 17 deluxes. 17 deluxes already that you could have pre-ordered. Now that's the stuff you could have pre-ordered in 2024 for release in 2025. So like the Studio Series Elita 1, the Studio Series B127, like those went up for pre-order last fall, but we're not going to get them till this year. Sentinel Prime, same thing. This year we already have on the MPG stuff almost $1,300 in pre-orders at this point.
Boy, am I glad I'm not an MP anymore.
Yeah.
But here's my question though:
Shatterglass Jetfire, Shatterglass
looking
Prime.
pretty good.
Do you have a breakdown, Phil, by any chance, of if you collect like mainline Generations that is non-movie versus movie? versus NPM?
No, I just have it basically breaking down by I have it breaking down by scale. So deluxe scale, Voyager scale, leader, commander, Titan, the multi packs, which is a whole weird thing. 40th anniversary, because that's kind of its own thing. The MP level stuff, the crossover stuff, missing link, and then miscellaneous.
I feel like we've got a lot more leaders than normal coming in. Is that correct?
Leaders so far, already got 6 leaders on the docket. Megatronus, Grimlock, Age of Extinction Prime, Dark of the Moon Shockwave, Ape Link, and Galvatron.
It's actually this year they are. There's going to be less toys this year than previous years, if what they said is true, which it seems like it is. Instead of
because they got rid of a wave, right?
Yeah, instead of 4 major like a quarterly release schedule, it's going to be a triad sort of thing. I mean, that's what they say. I still think that when it comes to the holidays time, that Christmas to January area always is a little murky. Like sometimes stuff comes out in December, sometimes it comes out in January. So it doesn't really, which does it count? It doesn't really matter. But it's typically the same. There's because it's by the case assortments that get sent to the stores. So there's always, with every release cycle, and I don't know if you noticed this, but with the quarterly release cycle, 1 month Legacy, next month Studio Series, next month kitty bullshit, whatever it is. Then we start over, rinse, repeat. That's how it goes the whole year. But no one notices. That's why when they do reveals, it's like, here's a bunch of Studio Series. And then everyone's like, oh, there was no Legacy. Like, well, that's for next month, asshole. Like, that's why. But they just don't tell you these things. But that's how it happens. Because that's how the stuff gets allotted and shipped over the ocean, from the factory.
And then the exclusive waves kind of throw a wrench into some of that release, reveal schedule stuff.
Oh, yeah, totally. From the reveal standpoint. And I think those are on a completely different cycle than everything else. And, the Titans and the Commanders are also, they're like, I mean, it's weird because we're starting to get the Studio Series Commander too, so that's kind of throwing stuff. But usually it's like in the early fall is when that stuff's supposed to come out.
Right.
Ultra Magnus was a Studio Series combiner, right? I'm sorry, Studio Series Commander.
Commander,
yeah.
right? Yep.
Yeah, so we had 2023, 2024, 2025 with Studio Series Commanders.
Yeah, and I feel like they've upped the Commander game, because there was just one in Legacy. Now they're doing special release ones and that kind of thing. They're going to have to do something with the Motormaster. I mean, probably a Pulse thing, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, we got a Shatterglass Commander Jetfire.
That's the only Commander. Sorry, now there's 2 Commander repaints that have ever existed. There's that one, and then there's the toy Motormaster.
Yeah, the multi-pack.
That's usually they've been rerunning just the regular ones.
Just rerunning, yeah.
Yeah, probably because the demand is big in China would be my guess. So we just benefit from that. I don't know if that was all my. Oh, you had asked how many things are coming. So 2 leaders every release cycle, whether it's Legacy or Studio Series. 3 Voyagers, which is usually it's 2 Voyagers, but they come in boxes of 3, which is so stupid because then something is always short packed. I don't know if that's by design or what, but this year, for the first time in I think 5 to 7 years, they're doing a Voyager wave that's 3 different Voyagers, and I haven't seen that ever. And
we got 6 Voyagers on the docket right now.
Yeah, that's great because usually the Voyagers kind of get swapped out, like one wave. For instance, last year, it's happened a few times. You had with Studio Series, at least you had Shockwave and Starscream, the gamer Starscream, and then the next wave was Shockwave again, and I really can't remember, but it's in one wave there's one of them, and the next wave there's 2.
Mm-hmm.
They did the same thing with Gamer Starscream and with Bumblebee Shockwave, and they did it a whole bunch with the Legacy line. The Galaxy Starscream was in 2 waves, and so was animated Prime, I
But
think.
I think that makes sense. Like, if they're going to short pack a figure in one wave, then it makes sense to throw them into another wave.
But they
What's
don't
the
do
wave
that all the
with-
time.
What's the wave with
Right.
3 Voyagers this year?
Well, I'll just be accurate and look it up for you. So talk for a second.
I
I
always
would have to
wonder-
imagine that's going to be like Ironhide, Sentinel Prime, and Scrapper, because you got
that sounds right.
You got 3 Studio Series Voyagers coming out.
It's the
Okay,
one
that
with
makes
Sentinel
sense.
Prime. I know that.
Yeah, and so we've got Gamerverse, Ironhide, and
That's right.
Scrapper.
That's right. That's cool.
Yeah,
always-
it's
I always
Ironhide,
wondered-
Ironhide, Scrapper, and Sentinel Prime.
And that's
When-
a nice
when they-
mix, because you've got Transformers 1, 86, and Gamerverse in there.
I mean, I think that is somewhat intentional because they want at least everyone to be interested in at least one or two figures.
Yeah.
Like, so no matter what. But I always wonder like how they decide what to short pack, because I feel like they always pick the wrong thing. But maybe it's just I don't know.
So here's the thing: the Gamer Skywarp is short packed, and the Gamer Thundercracker will also be short packed. And I don't know what to make of the triple wave. Will all 3 of those feel like they're short packed then? Will that whole wave be rare? Let's find out.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Can you recall vaguely when the Voyager cases went from 4 to 3?
My entire life, as far as my entire selling life.
Okay. So it's been a while.
It's been quite a while. It really annoys me. I don't know how long it's been that way. I don't think it was always that way.
Well, it was definitely 4 at some point.
Was it Titan's Return that was 4? Because I remember who was it? It was Octane and Blitzwing came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And I thought that was 2 of each of those per shipper.
It could be. I mean, those were a larger box.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would make sense that they shifted in Siege. Or they shifted in Legacy.
I mean, it makes sense, to Paul's point of when they started changing the packaging size, because that's going to be a big change of,
Well, it was Studio Series and Siege. That was where the big shift. That was where the brand
That's what I'm
unification
yeah.
sort of happened. And but so before that, though, it would have been movie premiere line, right? For the last night. I have a feeling those were probably 3 Voyagers per box, just because they were kind of proto studio series.
There weren't very many of those Voyagers.
Yeah. There weren't very many of those toys in general.
Anyways, there's a little inside baseball.
Yeah.
I don't
went
have
down
a
that
broader
tangent
point
because
to
you
make
guys
about that.
brought it up.
I was just curious.
Yeah. And just with going back to my numbers, again, I'm not including the reissue of Cosmos, Galaxy Shuttle, Tarn are not included in my number. So there's another Leader, there's another Deluxe, there's another Voyager. I forget who are some of the other reissues that they got coming out already this year.
RGB.
Ramjet is the short pack
Ramjet.
one.
You know what? I put Ramjet on here because he was only available in a multi-pack, and I don't know. I put Ramjet on my list. Yes, you're right. The B, the Origin B, I didn't put on here.
Jazz and Shockwave from Tuesday.
Jazz and Shockwave, I didn't put on here. You know what? I did put Dark of the Moon Shockwave on here. What am I doing? Okay. So
Those
yeah.
new boxes look real nice. I like
They do.
it.
I didn't put the I didn't put the reissue of Overload on here, even though that's coming out this year. That's a new box. So there's another couple $100 if you're buying the reissues.
I really like the new Jazz's box.
Did you notice?
It claims that he's from the 07 movie.
Yeah.
He is not.
He's hanging out in Mission City.
Mission City, baby. It's I'm not sure it happened that way. Is that what they're calling Moonbase 1 now? Maybe.
I would enjoy if I finally got the Jazz that's got the Transformers '86 blue windshield. The box set one that like kind of came out but kind of didn't.
I got to hand it to Hasbro with the Jazz because they nailed like that toy just started getting hard to find, and everybody was like, it's really funny because it's like suddenly it's like weeds sprout up overnight. All these suddenly I see 25 posts from people like, hey, anyone got an '86 Jazz? And I'm like, whoa, it's coming out like tomorrow! Holy cow! Like that usually it never works that way, and I got to applaud them for they hit it.
I
helped
noticed
out
it
the pros.
At the end of November, I think. I thought I needed another one for a custom. And so I started looking. I was like, oh, these have been cheap forever. Let me see if I can just grab one real quick. Oh, I cannot.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see that.
The one that, like, this week with the reveal was, like, Spinster. Yeah, like, we did the Quake. We gave you your third mini Target Master, double Target Master. And, yeah, that first one we did, like, years back. So let's give it to you again. And we're gonna package it with another dude that you probably didn't get because you didn't think you needed the Diaclone color Twin Twist. Now, guess what you do?
Who could have predicted this?
Yeah.
It was obvious the whole time that we were going to get this. They just needed to find a slot.
The Spinster one caught me a bit by surprise. The
I don't like
the
it.
Twin Twist, I should have been smarter about that. I got a blind spot when it comes to Diaclone. Top spin.
I know the jump starters, man.
I know the jump starters think you too much. Yes.
So Spinister, I don't like. Those colors are from like one cover. It looks like. I mean, yay Target Masters, but they released them too. So it's like I've had them for a while. But fine, if you don't welcome newcomers, I guess you can have them.
Well, but it fits with the other ones now because they got the little guys.
It's fine. I'll probably just strip the Target Masters from the new one and give it to the old one because it's more accurate. But whatever, whatever.
You must be a real sad sack though if you don't have your needle nose and you need one right now because
you needle nose one.
You done goofed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Needle Nose was he part of the clearance 2-packs at Walmart last Christmas?
he was after that.
Okay. But yeah, Needle Nose was pretty easy to find for a while, and now he is not.
I do think that this is the lesser of the 3-packs we're going to get from this collection.
The lesser of the 2-packs, you mean, or
the lesser of the like three releases that we are going to get from this group.
Okay, the Wreck and Doom stuff?
Yes. Yeah. There's a Carnivac versus Iron Fist pack coming, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
And it also seems there's a Rack and Ruin versus something coming, and I'm excited for that too.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
We've all been asking for Rack and Ruin for a long time.
Mm-hmm. What do you think that's going to be? Is that going to be like an amalgamation of the armorizers somehow, or?
I think probably the listing apparently is priced as 3 deluxes, so it'll be 2 of whichever thing to make Rack and Ruin versus somebody on the Mayhem squad. I would guess it's Brunt or Slammer.
Yeah,
funny.
Those would make sense.
It'd be funny if they used that Shield Master double crosser with the 2 heads,
gosh.
And they just paint them green. It's just like, hey, look!
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
Someone had a custom online I saw the other day of the Gamerverse Decepticon Soldier as Rack and Ruin. And that worked pretty well.
That looks okay.
Yeah.
I've been using that oversized KO Combiner Wars green Warpath thing. I don't know. There's 6 years ago or something, they had a pack on eBay. You got 2 of those and some resin pieces, and that was Rack and Ruin. And I've got that upstairs. But I'll
just use the Cyberverse Rack and Ruin.
I tried. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
I really did try.
They made the characters pretty entertaining in this show too.
Good, I didn't watch that show.
They were good comedic.
I have an attention span that is longer than 6 minutes, so I didn't watch it.
Then you can watch 2 episodes at a time.
It's just too frenetic for me at that point.
By the way, Christian, are you gonna watch the new Transformers show coming out?
We'll see.
Transformers 1. We're not going to do a sequel, but here's a bunch of 6-minute stop motion animation cartoons for
Oh,
you.
that?
I can't believe
Yeah.
they made a press release for that.
I
Right.
thought you were talking about Cyberworld, which we know a little bit about right now.
No, I was talking about Transformers 1 stop motion, whatever the
Oh,
heck.
no, probably not.
So, Phil, are you going to include Swapticons in your 2025 calculations?
I am not.
I think you
Gosh.
probably should, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that buy that crap.
Jim had, I think, my favorite comment on commentary on that, the GIF that he sent out. I don't know where the heck that's from, but that was perfect. So yeah, it was. I was hopeful that those toys would be neat because the description of them sound like something that'd be fun for my
Sure.
younger son, and they are not. They are boring. I mean, boring. They're just kind of lame,
I mean,
but whatever.
the presentation is good for them,
Mhm.
but they aren't really Transformers. They're goobers. They're something
They're
else.
like for preschool and kindergarten kids. They're simple to transform. You can mix and match them. You're gonna want to get like 1 or 2 packs. Not one. You're gonna want to get more than 1 pack so you could swap out the parts. It's an interesting play pattern. It's not one that I'm into. I think my boys are already growing out of that play pattern, but you know who knows.
Yeah, the Discord summoned me from the depths to talk about that briefly. That it looks similar to BotBots, and would I be interested? The answer is no. They do have silly faces like BotBots. That's about the only thing they have in common.
Yeah, that to me was the similarity was the bot like not even the bot toys, but the bot packaging artwork.
Yeah. Definitely not similar to the toys, like at all.
No, I would say they're light years different, but the team that worked on BotBots didn't get fired. They got pushed onto Swapticons. This is they work on these things now. Like whatever this age group, this play pattern,
yeah,
which changes every few years. Like, you know, we never get interviews with those people. It's only the collector-oriented people. We don't get the Earthspark team. We don't get the BotBots or with the, you know, like if we had any press contact with Hasbro, I'd be like, we want to talk to the Swapticon people. That's it.
Maybe we should.
Anna would just be like, Joe crossover team. Give me the G.I. Joe crossover team right now.
Nope.
Because that is not the same team.
That line should not exist.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a big push right now for the swapping out stuff. You know, we got the Hero Mashers like went live with some of those listings on Target this week. Some people are finding those in stores. You know, Ninja Turtles have been doing that for a little while. Master of the Universe has been doing that, you know, over the last year or so. So it's definitely something that kind of swap and mix and match play pattern has become in vogue right now.
Yeah, I mean,
What did you bring? It's Mix
Is that the
Master
new one?
Starscream.
Yeah.
I feel like that the reason that that's popular is just because it's cheaper to make. And so they can flood the shelves with that stuff and, you know, whatever, charge $10-15 and call it a day.
I mean, it's interesting, Lucas, because they did the Ninja Turtle ones over the summer, and my boys loved them, but those things were swarming the shelves at Walmart and Target. And I thought, like, okay, maybe these aren't performing well, but who is it? Is it Playmates still, or whoever's doing the Ninja Turtle toys? They've got like 3 more waves of them coming out. Like they literally just in the last week they showed off, you know, more of them that are coming out. So they're doing well enough to continue to producing them and going back to the well with different characters. So it's like the giant mutant, you know, that Ice Cube turns into at the end of the newest movie. Like that's going to be one that's coming out. Yeah, it's they're going deeper and deeper into that well in terms of making new ones of those. So apparently is doing well enough to continue to produce them. And again, other companies are following in stride.
Yeah, toy must be a popular boys' toy trend or whatever.
And with
I
the
have the
Hasbro
feeling
ones, the cool thing about the Hasbro ones is you can swap them out with other properties. So you can put Darth Vader's arm on the Starscream.
Yeah, you can if you're insane like a child is.
What,
but like I think you
what
can
if you
actually
went real crazy, Paul, and you put Megatron's arm onto Optimus.
Whoa.
Ha!
Great idea. Where'd you come up with that? I think you can actually use the old mashables or whatever they were called, like with these,
Hero
because the
Mashers,
joint,
right?
yeah, the joint looks exactly the same as I mean, I'm going off memory, but it feels, yeah, there. Oh God, I hate that thing so bad. Like this is awful too. I'm not like I bought this because it sucks because I have to. Yeah, it looks very similar.
Yeah, it looks about the same size. You're right.
There we go.
Yeah.
So there you go.
If only you guys both had both of those toys, you could figure it out.
I mean, I do. I just have to go find it. It's in the.
It's in the great bin in the sky.
It's in
Paul,
the great bin in my basement.
Do you know where I got this one from?
Toy de Jour?
No. This one is not from Toy de Jour. My son bought the Optimus one from Toy de Jour, like still in box. No, this was in a box of like random stuff that I won from DairyCon.
Okay, great. That's cool.
Yeah, it was Starscream and Swoop here, and then like a few other random things.
Look at that thing.
Yeah.
So can we talk about DairyCon for a second? Because that's gonna put some people in the poorhouse this year, I think.
I mean, it did last year, and Fred wants to do it again for his 25th anniversary, man.
Well, this thing about DairyCon is if you don't know about it, you're effed. Because if you find out too late, you're like, oh, I'm going to go to the show and I'll get an exclusive. Like, no, you're going to drive all the way to middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and they're going to be like, oh, you didn't pre-order one? Nope. Because they're already sold out of two of them, and
crud! I didn't.
It's great.
I didn't pay attention. Yeah.
The Buzzbeak is the first. Since it's sold out, they revealed it. It's awesome. It's a G1 laser beak that's all black
laser beak.
Somehow. It's pretty cool. Anyways, DairyCon, this is the year to go. This is the 25th anniversary. If you're on the fence, if you've ever thought about going, drop your shit and make sure it happens this year. That's my plug for the show.
When is DairyCon, Paul?
Oh, April 11th. No, I think it's a setup day. I think it's the 12th. I don't know. Look it up. Go to DairyCon. Like, there's a thing called Google, and you write Dairy plus CON, and that you'll figure it out.
You're the one that's sitting here promoting it and telling people to go.
Yeah, I've done my job. See you there.
There you go.
I
So
have plans that day. I won't make it. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry for you. That's you're gonna miss it.
Camping that weekend.
One day I'll make it.
Yeah, one day.
April 12th is the day of the show. April 11th is setup. And then April 15th, you can file your taxes. Win for everybody.
Not me. I have to do it a whole month before that.
You didn't do it stroke of midnight on January 1st?
I'd love to, but no.
You know what made me feel old, Phil, is when they were talking about
waking up and all of your body hurting.
Well, that's every day, but like
the daily drudgery of being alive.
When they revealed Triptychon and they're like, we really want to get these in people's hands because the original was released 9 years ago, and I'm like,
That's true.
oh my God, that was 9 years ago.
And people still think it should cost $40 9 years ago when that shit was at Ollie's. Give it up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. I really like
That's-
the new one. I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I ordered it.
on my
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Christian, I cut you off.
I did not have, buy a 9-year-old Titan redecoed on my bingo card for this year, but I'm kind of excited about it.
I think that's the only Titan that hasn't been redecoed, isn't it? Oh, I guess. I don't know. Metroplex, I guess you can kind of count it because they're San Diego.
Yeah. Metroplex and
Metroplex.
Predaking, Devastator.
Tidal Wave.
Oh, I guess there's been a bunch. Some of the newer ones. I'm just thinking a bunch of them have been redecoed. And this is one of the ones that the older ones.
Yeah. I mean, Fort Max has been re-released. He came out in the different colors as well. And then you've got Scorponok is Black Xeric. Omega Supreme is Guardian.
Metroplex is just the LG colors, though. But I want to put a pin in that one, and we'll chat about that in a moment.
But yeah, I ordered the new darker colored animation looking Triptychon, and I'll be bringing my Titans Return one to Dairy Con to sell. So yeah,
I'm gonna hold on to my original one for just a little bit longer because I had an extra during the Ollie's era. I was like, well, I'll go grab one just in case someone ever puts out a Gigastorm kit. And they never did, so I sold mine eventually at I think I still lost money on it to Nick. Maybe he has it at the shop, who knows. But maybe this will push that Gigastorm thing just a little bit. It needs a horn and it needs a sticker sheet. That's what needs to happen. So maybe it happens this time. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, DNA Designs, kind of surprised if they wouldn't do that. It feels right up their alley.
And everyone's going to have a bunch of extra Triptychons hanging around, so...
Mm-hmm. And you're not even the first Christian that's told me that they want to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I do like the new one. People are complaining that the brunt won't match anymore, and it's like, you know they're going to do that, right? Like, Hasbro doesn't miss a chance for a repaint.
Yeah.
I think that'll be fine.
It'll be neat if they do Brunt like they did the other Brunt, where he was the white repaint. What did they call him when he was the white
Centurion
repaint?
drone?
The Centurion drone. If they do a new Centurion drone in purple or a new Brunt in that color purple pink.
Do the weapons pack thing again?
Do the weapons pack thing again, yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, well, I think they do it more like they did for Cog, and they call him Pink Brunt.
Pink Brunt, but with the missing, not because it ties into anything, just because the missing minicons. Pink Brunt and the missing minicons as a Hasbro Pulse exclusive.
It would be so annoying.
Rude. It'd be so rude.
Also, it would be like $100 because there's so many missing minicons at this point. But yes. Lucas, do you have thoughts about Triptychon before we move on to my thing about Metroplex?
So originally I wasn't gonna get them, but then when they're like, "Oh yeah, this other one came out 9 years ago," I was like, "Well, I guess 9 years between figures." And you're right, it looks a lot better. I mean, I like the other one just because it reminds me of the toy, but I don't know. This one looks really neat too. So I think there's room in my collection for both, even though I've been complaining that I don't have room for more Titans, but. So,
one more thing I wanted to bring up about this is that back to brand unity, Triptychon was the Titan that happened actually before brand unity was known.
You're right.
This is the story of the black screws.
Let me get like an open wound for you to just pour salt in there, Paul.
So this is the LG Triptychon coming out now.
Kind of, yeah. That's how I feel about it. Like it's the LG that never happened.
Yeah,
that's a really great point. I hadn't thought of it that way.
So that's why when we're talking about no redecos, I wanted to bring that up. But
oh man, and we all saw the render images of the LG Triptychon, like, oh, it's a different color purple. It's I don't remember if it was brighter or deeper looking in the renders. Like, well, it looks just a little bit better. I'm gonna pre-order it. Yeah. And then we're all just like, what the Fuck.
It showed up. It was exactly the same, except for one little detail.
Black, screw you.
The screws are black.
It's weird.
And there's silver on the US one. And Phil,
Great.
you brought up the render thing. The only thing that's been worse than the Trypticon one was the Alicon from Japan, because the graphics showed it as pink.
Yeah, that was different.
That was total screw job on that one. I was like, oh,
You know what?
Great.
I don't think I ever saw the Japanese one in hand. So yeah, you're right. That did look a lot different, and I kind of remember wanting to get that different one.
Yeah, I got some, and they're exactly the same. I was like, fuck.
I had a hard time like selling the Alicon from the Troop Builder set because I really wanted to keep the Alicon head and put it on my mainline Alicon. That Troop Builder Alicon head is a lot nicer. I didn't do it. I sold it. I just kept the Seeker.
LG Metroplex, what's up?
So, we got some interesting information. But first, I want to make a note that a lot of the Titans have been coming back. Omega's getting reissued at Big Bad. Trypticon's coming back in new colors. Fort Max just finished coming out. I think Scorponok is getting a reissue.
Mm-hmm.
But conspicuously, G1 Metroplex is absent from this lineup. And that's the one that people have been begging for the most. First Titan, he's now 12 years old. Where is Metroplex? And then we got information that the next HasLab will be revealed in just 3 short weeks on February 6th-ish. That comps 6th through 8th weekend at MegaCon in Orlando, which I did not know existed until this announcement. Is that Metroplex? I think he's been on the list. The other rumor is animated Omega Supreme. Do you guys have predictions or hopes or dreams?
But they said we'd be supremely happy, Christian.
And it has to be, I don't know, something animated Omega Supreme.
Energon Omega Supreme.
There we go. That's the one I want. I would actually want that more than animated, I think.
Oh my God! If they did that, they might as well shoot. Someone getting fired if they picked that one.
I just remember, like, was Cybertron Metroplex the one where people saw like the icon on the designer's computer, like in the background, and they just did the enhance, and like everyone's like, they can't be making that toy. That's not gonna be a Titan. There's no way. Who wants that?
It was the Sentinel. It was the Sentinel, not that one.
Oh,
that's
okay.
right.
And I didn't believe it. Christian, we talked about this. I was like, that's BS.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
Yeah, the Metroplex one came from the Dollar General files or something.
Or Family Dollar or
Rep
something like that.
leaked their crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we found out about that one. That was strange. But yeah, we've got a new HasLab coming, and I guess I hadn't thought about it because Omega Prime hasn't shipped yet. And I think we've had all the older ones in hand before the new campaigns have started. I don't know why, but I kind of thought a HasLab wasn't coming this year, wasn't coming till later in the year. Again, I don't know why I made this up in my head, so I was kind of surprised by that announcement.
I think they're on like a 13-month schedule for the Transformers HasLabs these days.
Maybe. Didn't they put it out in February last year?
I thought it was January.
Maybe. Whatever. So it's coming.
Yeah.
So,
Because
like,
remember, Unicron was
Summer.
San Diego announcement, and then New York Comic Con in November was the final cutoff. Paul's done something obscene, I think. I don't know.
my question is like, why do they keep talking about like animated Omega Supreme though? Like, is that something that everyone has been dying for?
Seems so.
I don't know. I don't feel like that's something that's gonna get everyone excited. Like I think a Metroplex would get everyone way more excited before
I think
that.
G1 Metroplex would do that. Plus, we've got that
Right.
4-foot one that breaks itself, apparently. So good luck with that.
It breaks itself.
That just came out. If you leave it in robot mode, it breaks itself, apparently.
Jesus.
There you go.
So don't do that.
You're an idiot if you buy that thing. I mean, you're just fucking dumb. That is a bad purchase, no matter what. No one should have collectibles that big unless they own a 4-acre house. That's my
You
TED
don't?
talk. No.
Yeah, I think Metroplex would be a really good get. I mean, we've heard Lyle Kaiser bandied about as the HasLab before.
Would you rather have Metroplex in HasLab scale or the new Titan scale?
Definitely not the new Titan scale for sure.
Yeah, I believe.
I feel like in terms of a toy Metroplex, a toy aesthetic Metroplex, the new Commander scale, the new Titan scale feels right.
Does it?
Nah,
To me, it
it's too
does.
small.
Disagree.
The original Metroplex is not a giant toy.
Yeah, and that sucks. It needs to have been
Right.
bigger.
It
That's why
needs to be
Fort
at
Max
least
is
that size,
awesome.
I think. The new Titans are not anywhere. They're about half the size of the old Titans.
Yeah.
You're talking about Star Convoy size, right?
Yeah, Star Convoy size. Yep.
That's
I hear you, man, and I'm just thinking back. Like I remember when my cousin showed up at my house with the G1 Metroplex toy.
that toy is surprisingly small. You're right.
Yes, and I was surprised at how small it was, but I still think it's a cool toy. It's a hole I have in my G1 collection, so it is something I have some.
So you want a toy Metroplex, not necessarily like a cartoon Metroplex, a true to scale. I mean, true to scale, right? That'll never happen. But like big Metroplex.
Yeah, you're right. Obviously the one we got was not very very cartoon aesthetic. It was the video game aesthetic. So yeah, you're right. Okay. I hear you out.
So Phil, you're saying that you want a missing link, Metroplex?
That's
is that
what
right?
Phil wants.
Yeah.
I mean, the G1 Metroplex moves really well.
Doesn't have knees. Doesn't have ankle tilts. It's brick.
It breaks at the waist.
It sucks.
Does it twist at the waist or break at the waist?
Both.
Okay.
It twists to break. I need to go open that KO Metro Titan I bought several months ago. Oops.
Paul, you look like you were screaming to say something a few minutes ago.
No. But I think to indicate when the Titan class shrunk and they didn't name it something else, which is like, why didn't they just name it something else? I think it's like a shrinkflation thing in a way to get us to make Titans be HasLab toys from here on out. And hopefully that means they're like $300 instead of $200, so they can actually.
I don't think they'll be
excel.
$6 again. I think that's not happening. But $3, I think, is definitely doable.
I mean, if they were, I think they could get away with the $500 Metroplex if it was baller, and not super big. Like it's not, the size doesn't matter. It's the quality of the toy.
Complexity. Quality.
The problem with
A
Metroplex,
certain size. Like, I'm not going to pay $500 for Super 7 Jazz Metroplex. Like, it's not gonna. But it has to be a certain size.
Like so to me,
okay,
going back to the G1 Metroplex toy, it was scaled to go with mini-bots. And what scale are we getting mini-bots in right now? We're getting them in deluxe scale. So I feel like I would need a Metroplex to work with, in the city mode, deluxe size cars.
Yeah, I don't know how big that makes it end up being. My fear is that it is really toyetic, like in the way that, say, Trypticon is. I thought Trypticon could have been a cool looking, like sleeker lizard dinosaur thing, but they made him look exactly like the old one. That's why when I was at Toy Fair and they revealed that thing, I asked John Morton, I'm like, well, does it walk? Because why the fuck else would you have made it look exactly like the original Trypticon if it doesn't walk? Because that's why it looks the way it does. And he kind of looked at me and he was like, no, it doesn't walk. And I was like, oh, I mean, I don't want it to walk. It just like, it seems like that's what you went for. So in that sense, like Trypticon was very slavish to the original toy. And the Titan Metroplex we have was like kind of it was in that era of like cool original designs. It was the last thing I think it was either the first thing the new team did without Archer, or it was the last thing Archer did. He could answer that, but it was its own creation, but it harkened back to the essence of Metroplex, which is cool. And I hope I kind of want something more like that than like the actual Metroplex toy, because the Metroplex toy to me is not satisfying as a city. It's like you got to squint
Right.
so damn hard, and the robot mode is like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man because of that. I like the Titan Metroplex because it's a lot more it was a lot more dynamic than the original, and it was like, this is like a modernized version of that idea. I hope they do that again if they do it. But they probably won't, because everything else, like Tidal Wave is exactly Tidal Wave, the toy from the back in the day. And that seems like that's, it's working for them, so that's what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we do have,
I think,
with the not Power of the Primes, the what are they calling this new Age of the Primes? Age of the Primes. With the Age of the Primes, we are getting brand new designs. With the Primes, like these are not like, oh, here's just a Earth truck or the Cyclonus jet kind of thing. These are new designs that we're getting. They're trucks, they're tanks, they're cars, but they're very unique. So maybe they are bringing some more of that in with what the next Metroplex will be. I know, Lucas, you said this several minutes ago about the animated Omega Supreme. Like, I would have been excited for that toy 10 years ago. Nowadays, I feel like that ship has sailed.
Right.
It is too late. However, they have released a few animated toys.
Yeah.
Not enough to do a HasLab, in my opinion. Because this year, the only one coming is Wasp. So what? But that was an unreleased thing, and Omega Supreme is something that was completely unreleased.
Without Faults earlier in the chat mentioned that it'd be really cool to have an Autobot City 86 Metroplex or style Metroplex or whatever, and that would be really neat too. Like, I would enjoy that as well.
Well, that would be super cool if it was a studio series like Autobot City.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That would be. I mean,
you have
charge
the
me
orange
$600
for
for
that
that guy.
You have the
Right.
white one later, and then you have the Metro Titan one later. Again, we haven't had HasLab repaints yet. Doesn't mean it won't ever happen, but I like that idea. I mean, didn't we see a custom a couple years ago where someone combined a Metroplex and a Fort Max, and they were orange?
Yep.
Like,
and
that
it was
looks
amazing.
I would love something official that was a similar to that concept.
It was super cool.
It was super cool. If you're listening, whoever's out there, good job.
Well, the guy
Sign
got
me
weird
up.
about people sharing his photos and then disappeared.
That happens occasionally.
Why did you share your photos then?
It was
Right.
super cool. It was a great idea. Well executed, good combination. Well done. So I think what did you say it was without faults? Yeah. Autobot City toy somehow great. Yeah. Sure. Broke my keyboard briefly.
I have no idea what it is. I really hope it's not animated Omega Supreme, because I would hate to see a failed Transformer HasLab.
I mean, animated has hardcore fans, but are they still around buying toys?
I don't know.
This much after the show, 13 years later. Maybe. I
Maybe.
mean, I would get it because I still like that design, but like, hard to fold in. I mean, I haven't been a fan of the animated toys as much recently. Prowl is good,
Right.
but I don't like the others very much.
Well, it wouldn't fit with your old animated toys. Is the
No,
thing.
it wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
And it would.
Right.
The animated. Sorry, I needed to clarify that. You're right. It wouldn't fit with the old animated stuff, and I'm not a huge fan of the newer animated legacy stuff. So like, it has to fit with them, and I already am not a fan of that aesthetic.
I almost feel like you should like remold the arc to be that. I don't think you need to do a ton of remolding on the arc. Like the upper torso that becomes the front of the spaceship, you'd have to remold.
Yeah.
And even that, like, you could probably the forearms and the arms alone, but like the chest and the shoulders, remold that, and then obviously the head. or not, just be jerks and don't remold the head. You know, and that could be animated Omega, and that feels like a Gen Selects kind of thing.
I know they said the you'll be supremely surprised thing. I think that's a red herring. I don't think that one has enough appeal. I think Lio Kaiser has a more broad appeal because they keep doing the Japanese stuff in HasLab. I think Metroplex has a more broad appeal because everyone loves G1. I've heard Stratosphere from Rise of the Best as a potential candidate. I don't think the live action movies, particularly that one, has enough of a fan base to get that done. Maybe, I don't know. It will be interesting though to see what happens. I guess we'll cover that when it happens in about 3 weeks.
Yeah. No, we won't do a show that week.
Nah, we'll be off.
We'll be on break.
Nah, again, I mean, I don't know if it's the same for you guys. I just wasn't expecting that so soon.
When are we supposed to get the new HasLab? Or not the one, but whatever, the last
Omega Prime?
Yeah.
It's due this fall, but that's probably not true because they just released the unboxing video, which means it's kind of done. So I'd say within the next 3 months we'll have it.
And the Q2.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Did anyone watch that video? I did not.
I haven't yet, no.
I'll unbox it and do that when I unbox it myself.
Yeah. That's kind of my sentiment with it.
Who spoke the Supreme line? Because I didn't watch that.
I didn't hear it in the cast. Doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Well, I just wonder if it was that. Who was in the room? It was probably Evan and
it was Evan and the new marketing guy.
So if it was the marketing guy, it might have just been him. Might have just used the word supremely.
He was off again. Like he was not. Remember when we first met him at Comic-Con? He was just like weird, and then we saw him again later, and he was fine. He's weird again now. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, at Comic-Con he acted like he had somewhere better to be.
He did that this time too.
Okay.
And the production was done by the interns or something because the audio was very bad and the camera work was very sloppy.
Layoffs.
And it wasn't live. It was pre-record, just like the CybertronCon one was.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I kind of like the little Instagram ones they're doing where it's like, hey, here's quick 2 minutes. Here's 2 minutes.
Yeah, nice.
Here's the Triptychon. Here's 2 minutes. Here's the Devastator
with
components.
Just Evan? Yeah.
Yeah, and just like, all right, cool. I can get on with my life now.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I kind of miss those. Like, I don't know. I feel like I need to be on Instagram just for Transformer stuff.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I really did not like the mix of new marketing guy plus Mark because, we all like Mark and he was rushing him along. Yeah, the marketing guy was rushing Mark along. It's like, come on, let Mark do Mark's thing. He's got us dialed in for that now, and you're messing with it. Stop.
The new marketing guy, like his DoorDash delivery dude, was at the door. He had to go get that.
I guess. He's not. We've seen him be better. Maybe they were under a crunch for this one. Who knows?
Yeah. Should we give him the Melania treatment? Be better.
Maybe he got double booked, and he had an OKR meeting that he really had to get to. Because that probably is what it was.
I don't know what an OKR meeting is.
Oh, objectives and key results? Oh, it's really important.
Oh.
Yeah, they were planning for 2025.
All right. Well, do we have any other news or anything like that we need to cover? Or?
I mean, did we want to talk about some of the other reveals from the other day, or what went on sale? We talked a little bit about Q, Q Wheeljack, Age of Extinction Optimus.
I'm excited for that Optimus. Q and Optimus look like they're missing paint, which is not great. Yeah. Ironhide also looks like he's missing paint, but that mold is fantastic. You might remember it was my Studio Series figure of the year when it was Ratchet a couple weeks ago. I know.
And that kind of got leaked on Target. Like, I didn't realize that had not been kind of put out there, because on Target on Sunday on their website, the listing for him was up there. You couldn't purchase it, but it was up on Target.com's website on the app.
The official pictures of Ironhide have been out for months.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, just Ironhide, no one else.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a direct remold of Ratchet, with the exception of the head, it's going to be a no-brainer kind of thing.
It's got a different chest too,
Yeah, that's true.
chest
Yeah.
is different.
Ooh,
and weapons.
maybe that's part of why it's in that triple wave, because it was maybe for another planned thing that got borked in the end of the year stuff, and then they're like,
cheaper to do
whoops.
the remold than new mold, maybe.
No, I'm just saying they it was in a slot but had to be moved for production reasons or like scheduling reasons, or they shifted gears and like, oh no, this toy needs to come out. So they like are throwing it in a wave. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
We
later
got,
than it was supposed to.
Yeah. Who else? Shockwave coming back, with all of the pieces. I was kind of surprised to see he was getting Parachute Guy and the two itty bitty
Parachute Guy is the ultimate thing. That's the best Studio Series figure right there.
Right. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I'll bet Grimlock comes with Wheelie at the end of the year too. Like they are still releasing them as
particularly because the G2 one has it.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Where the other G2 one and Shatterglass and Comics did not.
But Comics came with a bunch of swords.
That's true.
Yeah.
Shatterglass did.
No.
Tiger Stripe did not.
Did not.
Yeah, Paul, you're probably right about that. That Wheelie is back. Wheelie, come back. Wheelie's my name. Want to play a game? No.
Oh, Wheelie, come back.
I think that's it, though. There was like
wrong.
five figures and then Triptychon that I ended up ordering. So 2 package versions. Yeah, it's Q, Jazz, and oh, is that where Volkswagen Bumblebee's coming?
Well, we got Devastation Prime.
And Devastation Prime. Gosh, yeah, I forgot about him. Totally.
Yeah.
That looks terrible.
Devastation Prime is like the Studio Series TF1 Optimus, and it's coming with the it's coming with B127 as well. So those are taking the place of 86 Bumblebee and TF1 Prime for 2025.
Cool.
I mean, yeah, if it wasn't such a shitty toy.
I think that remains to be seen. It looks pretty good to me. I mean, like, no, everyone's bitching about it and they've never touched it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know what all the hate is for, but maybe it will be a dud.
It's just like let's be candid. We got like one of the best, if not the best, Optimus Prime toy last year. So like the next Optimus Prime, this G1 style that comes out, is gonna look kind of crap in comparison. And this is, I would say, not a great toy. And then you hold it up to Studio Series 86 Prime, and it's like, yeah, this is hot trash.
Right, but I mean, there are two completely different price points.
So will the core toy. No one's
right. It's getting a like G1 looking Optimus Prime out on the shelf at a deluxe price point.
And I get it. It's kind of the same thing like they did with Missing Link, where you got the Missing Link and then you got the deluxe, G1 Optimus Prime. Very, very similar. It's just like, here's the lower cost version. And by the way, it's going to look a lot lower cost. I don't know. Some deluxes, I feel like I've been spoiled with deluxes. A lot of deluxes, like their vehicle modes, tab in together much more cleaner than that Devastation Prime truck does.
Yeah.
Rat Trap looks really good. MP Rat Trap. I have not ordered a Beast Wars MP toy in a long time. I think Tigertron was the last one I got, and I ordered MP Rat Trap.
I ordered Rat Trap, which is unusual for me. You guys know that.
Look at you.
Did you order
Christian,
Rattle
ordering a
or Rat Trap?
masterpiece.
I did order Rattle. That's right.
Get the Japanese. You get it from Japan, or you got it off Pulse?
Pulse.
Then you got Rat Trap.
It's actually Rattle on Pulse too.
On Pulse, yes, it is, but that's not what the box will say.
Not what the box will say. Hopefully,
it's going to say Cybertron Spy.
Probably, yeah.
Is it still the NC-17, style packaging?
Yeah, the names they put for the Masterpiece toys on the U.S. boxes are the designation on the Japanese Masterpiece boxes. So, like, Destron Ninja is what what's her name is the
Nightbird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
It's weird.
But yeah, I ordered it. He looks like he walked out of the show. He's one of my favorites from when I was a kid.
That second face is perfect.
Too terribly panely. So I may get this one. I've ordered. We'll see if I keep the order.
Got a big backpack, doesn't he?
Yeah. But he also has a backpack in the show, so fine. We'll see. Looks nice.
Is that the whole Maximal cast then?
Air Razor missing.
Air Razor and Tiger Hawk.
Well, okay, if you want to go all the way to the end, there's more, but
Yeah.
season 1 is Air Razor.
Air Razor. And it would make sense for them to do her for the movie and that just came out. There's some there's some recency bias there, and they already did Tigatron, so they kind of go together. I did like the picture of Rat Trap on Primal's back.
Yeah,
the promo shot, that was funny. Like, that was cool that it does that. I mean, it's like, oh, you're gonna release that one again, please? They've already.
Well, then you got
twice.
the picture they did with Rat Trap on Primal and Primal on Rhinox, and the three of them just.
I thought that was the Thrilling 30 Rat Trap because they did that back in the day. Like, that was the stand-in.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay,
I thought that
well,
was
I
a new
didn't-
picture they just
it
put
could
out.
be
Maybe
new
I was
pictures.
wrong. Maybe I didn't look at it close
Whatever.
enough.
They do it. You can do it with this one too.
Yeah.
I'd say this release also solidifies MPG as just like,
It's just what
masterpiece
it is.
behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People getting the Jinrai in hand and definitely making people wish they had pre-ordered it.
I think it looks cool. I mean, I thought it looked really weird before it came out, but now that it's out, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, that looks great.
It's crazy like how much some of the promo shots like don't make a toy look good, and then like you get the random dude who has like the crappy phone camera, like, holy crap, that toy looks amazing.
And it's
What?
getting a black repaint.
What?
Is it?
Yeah, they showed it off tonight/tomorrow morning at
Oh,
that Japan show. It's the Nucleon Quest colors, not a Nemesis.
No
color,
way!
which
Like
is pretty
right
cool.
just now?
I mean,
Like
about 2
an
hours
hour
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is awesome. That is
I've
that's
broken the news to Paul. I'm
you
so
just
excited.
gave me a
Wow.
huge one. Because I don't care about Power Master, Optimus Prime, or Jinrai, but I do like the black one, and I do like the Fire Guts one, and I really want those.
Doing the black one.
Hell, yeah, that's. I got to look this up right now.
Okay.
Woo!
Paul's
Thank
like
you,
best news
Christian.
of the night.
That's just standing
Yes.
there, also with the prototype colors missing Link RC.
I really hope that's not the next Missing Link toy. But
I mean, it is. So
does it say so? Is it?
it's after the Sunstreakers. So yes,
It has a number,
I don't know.
or does it have more like we're thinking about doing this?
No, it has the actual colors now, where it's not. The last time we saw it was a gray model. So I'd imagine it's next.
There you go,
And
Paul.
the Macross Prime looks stupid. So yay.
Oh, is that what it is? It's holy shit! They do have it there. Wow, that is. Oh my god, that looks so good, and it's got the Autobot symbols too, so people can't be like, "It's my nemesis, Jinrai." It's like, no, that's not what it is. It's not what it is, asshole.
It's my overcooked rib.
It's my Skywarp.
Oh, well, you got it. Wow, it is Optimus Prime as instead of the Macross jet. That's kind of interesting. I thought it was.
And it has a guitar. I don't know why. Is that a thing in Robotech somewhere?
Well, it's Macross 7, which is
okay.
the
I guess
power
that means something else.
power of music.
Oh.
Let me fly my my jet with my guitar. It's like Guitar Hero, Macross or some shit.
That's weird. Okay, I didn't know that
Confused
existed.
with Huey Lewis and the News and the Power of Love.
You know, it doesn't look like a great toy, like the joints and stuff.
It looks very bad.
I'm seeing this. This is great news. This is all happening for the first time live. Hello.
Well,
So cool.
it was live.
Yeah, the
an hour or
Zoids
two
Prime
ago.
also looked like kind of a cool design, but the construction of it looked odd.
Yeah.
Has that finally come out that they can show like a real thing?
I don't know. I mean, this weekend, this show would be where I think we'd see more of it, because
Yeah,
that's
good point.
kind of what we're seeing with this stuff, is those kind of outside the box XLers.
Wow, the Rat Trap really does look good in the group shot. Holy cow.
Yeah.
And he's like, he looks like almost the same size as Cheetor. Is that correct?
He's like at least a head shorter.
Yeah, he's bigger than you think he is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Now,
think it's
give me my
Cheetor is smaller than you
MP
think
Beast
he is.
Machines Rat Trap.
I'd probably get that.
Wow.
I actually do love that design.
I am all over this Nucleon Quest convoy. Holy cow, that looks awesome.
I'm glad I could bring the news to you.
What about the Predaking? Was anyone
We
thinking
talked
about
about
that?
that. A little
So
bit.
we
You
talked
already
about
did.
that earlier, but I guess apparently he's only a foot tall, which is weird.
Yeah, it's too bad.
What's going to be bigger than the Legend Scale King Toys Predaking or that one?
I don't know.
It
Probably
should be
similar
around the same
size.
size, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a foot's not that bad. That's, is that with the wings or like the head is up to a foot?
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't
know.
It looks rad. Like these are the
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks really cool, but
Mm-hmm.
from a style
Yeah.
perspective, I like this
Right.
kind of take on Transformers. You don't usually see it in an official capacity.
Right.
So it
Yep.
is it's cool.
I don't know about the rest of you. I think you guys might have similar sentiment, but like my disappointment in this toy is that I hoped it would be a replacement for my Power of the Primes Predaking on like the big combiner shelf, and it's not going to be that.
Right.
So that's where
I agree.
my expectations / hopes have been, knocked
Right.
down.
If it was 18
It's-
inches instead of 12, I would be a lot more excited.
We're all size queens here.
Right.
I knew this would not be that.
All right, I got to see what this image says. Translate. I'm sure this is riveting.
I like how we
Riveting
kind of like
video.
squeezed 3
Riveting
topics
audio
into one
here.
tonight.
So
Here we go. Take a photo of words to
Survey
translate.
says.
Oh. Missing link, RC prototype, release date set, manufacturing stock price limit, undecided. So yeah, I guess that means it is going to get made for sure.
Yeah.
And then they got to do her in the 2 different colors.
right.
Well, they got to do her in regular, like what she would have been. It wouldn't have been this orange crap. Like this
Well, you kind of got to do it in both. I mean, again,
Right.
like they're going to want to use the mold twice because they've used
Yeah,
all the molds twice so far, or engineering at least twice so far. So you do
I
it
mean,
in
I
the
feel-
orange and brown.
I feel like you also gotta like just release it in like a bunch of different colors just for the hell of it.
Yeah, you're going to have to do the green.
And
I
and
just-
maybe
I
a
just
black.
I just hope that they didn't take what the original prototype was and be like, let's just release that as it would have been released in 1985 or 1986. I hope they figured out what that would have been and then missing linkified it. Like it can actually do some cool
Probably what
stuff.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I
hope
agree.
so.
If it's just like the G1, what it would have been toy with that kind of articulation, that feels like it's missing what Missing Link is.
Yeah, and I feel like they have to keep it looking so dumpy because this thing has never existed, right? They gotta like hit that.
And those Transformers the movie toys, they were blockier and simpler looking than the Diaclone stuff. The Diaclone was
different.
Yeah, it was like different kind of plastics. The shapes were a little more rounded, a little blockier.
It's just so crazy that they're going to release it as the prototype, like the colors, huh? I hope they do it. Like, I think we've talked the Cyberfest Northwest guys that made this toy last year. Like, that color scheme looks amazing.
Yeah,
that's essentially
like the perfect, like, not quite bubblegum pink that you want to see her as.
It's just so cool that those guys made that thing and now it's coming out for real. Yeah. Like, that's so. If I was involved in that, I'd be like, "Wow, we did it! We're the best." So cool.
All right. Well, I know we've been going for a while. We're closing in on 2 hours here, so I figure probably time to wrap up. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you to everyone in the chat. And I guess I'll should see everyone next week.
Bye.